So, welcome to the second episode of the YapNG podcast. I'm Andy MB.
And I'm OTL.
Absolutely jam-packed full of stuff today. We've put a bit more of a structured approach, and I have my correct microphone set up this time, so no more audio sounding like you're on the receiving end of a call or something like that.
Anyway, Andy.
Yes.
I've been hearing about this game you've been playing.
Yes.
Retro.
So, this is a new thing I'll be adding to all the episodes. I'll be having retro footage in the background. As you would have seen, I had Juiced last time, and this time it's Blur. I found a copy of it, and I tell you what, it is excellent. I've been enjoying it so much. Most of the B-roll footage you'll be seeing is from like missions I've already completed, and the reason for that is for some reason the capture card I use when I go to record from a PS3, I don't get any audio, so I don't want to play through the game and encounter something I need to hear and then not be able to hear it. So you'll be just seeing the start of the game. But yeah, excellent game. If you can get your hands on a copy, it is an absolute blast. Licensed cars and Mario Kart-esque gameplay.
What's it like to play? What's like the handling like and all that? Is it more arcadey or?
The handling's very arcadey. It's the vehicles do all feel very unique, even though the handling feels very like you can get a handle of it and then you kind of know how to drive most of the vehicles, but a lot of the vehicles do feel quite different. And I mean, like it's got so much random stuff in it as well. I mean, one of the vehicles at the very start, you don't get to use it at the very start, but it's just unlocked already, is a Range Rover Evoque, and then it throws you into the Focus RS, the one from the 2010s. Then there's just so much stuff. It's got a load of like concept cars in it. They basically just said, oh, can we license this? Yes, okay, it's going in the game.
Yeah.
So what have you found in terms of mods in the last month, Will?
Oh, I've got quite the lineup. Do you remember the Oldsmobile mod back in the day of ye old BeamNG?
Yes, I did actually mention it in the last episode.
Well, the official remaster has just released. It's the Oldsmobile mod pack, and it is packed full of stuff.
Very nice. I heard some stuff through the grapevine about this. Is it an actual? It's the same mod remastered. It's not just someone making the new mod of the same car, is it?
No, it's a full remaster. Let me run you down through some of the configurations and cars here.
One of the 5 billion configurations, I imagine.
Yeah.
The original was packed.
I wasn't aware. Each car, they're all different cars. They're not just the same car, but they're the same car, but they're different brands pretty much. Anyway, first off, we have the 1980 Oldsmobile Delta 88, which is the original mod. Came with the one car. Then we have the 1990 Oldsmobile Custom Cruiser, which is the second gen facelift. Then we have the Oldsmobile 98, the 10th gen facelift, the Caprice, and the Impala. And now the configurations. We have rusted out and junkyard parts, so pretty much just absolutely rotten, completely ruined pieces of rubbish, pretty much. And then we've also got a plethora of derby and banger racing parts, which can clearly have a lot of effort put into them. They look very interesting. All them different paints and numbers there. Very nice. Obviously, we have to have the massive selection of police cars and taxis and other service vehicles. Undercover police cars, New York City Police Department, Belasco City, New York City, all that stuff, so you can recreate Blues Brothers if you want. We have credits to the original mods creator. I think his name was Fido Garage or something. He's got his own off-road configuration. And, most importantly, we have... what are they called? We have donk versions, and I forgot what they're called. The ones that bounce, the bouncy cars.
Oh, like lowriders.
Yeah, lowriders. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, quite a nice little refresh we got there. Not even a refresh at that. More like a remaster, to be honest.
Yeah. And was it a remaster by the same person or a different person?
Our legend, our boy, Agent Y, greatest remasterer of all time. As you know, he remastered the Fiat 126 with help from actually no. Adam PL started the 126 remaster, and Agent Y, I think, was the main help towards that. But there's a lot of helpers. But yeah, genuinely, that is the Fiat 126 is one of my favourite all-time real car mods because it's just such a goofy little rock box. But yeah.
And not even just the 126, the 126P, the one that was made in Poland, they've nicknamed the Maluch, which means like toddler or small child. It's just such a goofy car as well, even in real life.
We need more small cars. I would love like a first-gen smart car or a Toyota IQ.
Oh yeah, actually, what are they called? A segment cars or super minis? That's what they're officially called.
Yeah, super minis.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
we're going to be doing a video on that soon, aren't we? The automation one.
Oh yes, that's very true. I actually forgot about that.
I'm going to go off topic a little bit here, but I absolutely adore 2010s generation super minis. You know, like the Peugeot 208, Chevrolet Sonics.
I remember there was the newer version of the smart car, and there was a Brabus version. There was someone in my town had a Brabus one, which is crazy, because nothing interesting ever happens in my town. Someone has an i30N in my town as well.
You know what I saw the other day?
What did you see?
I saw a first gen Honda Insight. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, dude. Oh, when I used to live in Dublin when I was younger, someone had one on my street. Someone also had, what are they calling it? You know those Volvos with the pop-up headlights, the little coupe things, little hatchbacks?
The 480.
Yeah, someone had one of them as well. And, oh, mate, this is so cool. I never realised how rare they were until recently. Right beside where I lived in Dublin when I was younger, it's obviously not there anymore, was one of the original Red Bull Minis.
Whoa.
I used to pass that thing every day on the way down to the shops, dude. That thing was cool. But I never realised just how cool it was when I was little. I didn't realise how rare they were, or how the whole system worked, how you don't really buy them, that Red Bull give them to students so that they can promote the drink on college campuses.
That Astra and that Polo need to be added because they're so terrible. They're so good. Both of my older sisters had Polos. Well, one still has, but the other one's gone to a A7, A5, I think now.
The Polo isn't a super mini though; it's an A segment. It's a step bigger.
Still, yeah.
And I will stand my ground on that, because my car underneath is of course a Polo. Got a new bumper for that the other day. Yes. Now I gotta wait like a few weeks to respray it the right colour.
One more thing before we get back on topic. Skoda, the VW Up,
I love the
Skoda Me, or the Seat. No, is it? I think it's the Seat Me and then the Skoda.
It's Skoda
whatever.
Citigo, yeah.
Yeah. Which one's the best? Which one would you have?
I'd probably have the Up, because I'd have the Up GTI.
Oh yeah.
That thing is so cool. You know, I have coilovers in my car, right? And I always said, if money no object, you know, something crazy happens, I win the lotto or YouTube does really well or something. Now, in retrospect, I'd probably keep the Seat, but if I didn't keep the Seat, my daily driver would be a Up GTI. But because it's still on the same platform, the springs off my car, there's coilovers, they'd fit on it. I have a lowered Up GTI. Man, I'd have that thing mapped to all hell. I'd have that thing pushing horsepower, straight pipe, man.
I watched a video, YouTuber Rizzy. He like drives around on A roads, B roads, and all that. He describes, because he flips and sells cars, but also rags them around, right? And he bought 3 VW Ups, and he described the VW Up as looking and handling like an AirPod case. Like if you get an up at, hold on.
I can't imagine it would handle that much different to my car. My car handles absolutely class. Even before I put this coilovers in it, it handles like a go-kart. It weighs nothing. And mine's the heavy one, by the way. I have the Estate.
Hold on a second here.
I love my car. Makes, like, no power.
Do you I see the resemblance so much.
Yeah, it literally looks like... Especially the way that front grille is designed.
Anyway, back to BeamNG. That was insane.
Yes, and I did actually want to make a point with that Oldsmobile mod. I do remember the Chevrolet Caprice came out as a separate mod, and then I think they conjoined the two or something. I only remember there being the Oldsmobile and the Caprice in the original version, but now it seems they added all of the other cars that are on the same platform, is it?
I'm not sure. I didn't really download mods when I was a kid, because obviously 2015 for me was like, I would have been 7, so I wouldn't know.
Dude, you were 7. 2015, I was 11. Crazy business. Doing podcasts with a little baby here.
Anyway. Another American boat coming to our screens, the Gavril Grand Marshal Classic. I believe it's based off a Chevrolet Caprice from 1996.
It does look like
Yeah,
one.
very nice. It's got the aero. It's got the fake wood paneling. It is absolutely mint. But there isn't much change to it by the looks of it. It's just a wagon with new wheels, a new grille, and aero parts. But still, really good mod. Cheers. What's his name? Hold on. Sorry. Cheers, Voyager 2010? 210? Andy,
Yes.
let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Have you ever bought a Bruckle Legrand and then bought a gooseneck trailer and quickly realised you couldn't tow anything with it?
Mate, literally all the time. It keeps me up at night, this problem.
It is the biggest pain in this world. Well, have I got good news for you, because someone has made a gooseneck Bruckle Legrand.
Wow. So we could pull heavy stuff at a whopping 5 miles an hour.
Mate, the V6 in front wheel drive, don't diss it. This thing will pull like crazy.
Front wheel drive and heavy trailer load on the back. I'll let you figure out what's wrong there.
I think there may be some structural issues, because the boot may bend in, because it's just a sheet of metal with like a massive tow hook in it. But yeah, probably wouldn't happen in real life.
I'm sure someone would do it drunk. Probably in America. Because you can get away with that shit in America.
But thank you, GoMan450, for this absolutely ridiculous and brilliant mod. Next up, do you ever get the feeling that the Hirochi Sunburst is never enough?
Sometimes.
Could you say the boot space is a bit limited, even in the wagon?
Maybe.
Well, the genius designers at Hirochi Australia, I assume, have delivered us the Hirochi Outrider, which is just a ute. It's an estate Sunburst. They've cut through it, they've added a bit of plastic trim, and they've made the boot fall out backwards, and it is absolutely brilliant.
Now, I did see the pictures of it, and the only one I saw was a 4-door, but I would hope they have like a 2-door version, surely, would they?
If they did a 2-door, that would remind me of the Proton Jumbuck. You know the Proton
Oh, I
Jumbuck, right?
remember that. Yeah, I remember that. And underneath it was Mitsubishi Lancer, I believe. And I've seen a lot of people do like Evo swaps and stuff, because it's just a regular Lancer drivetrain. But what I was thinking there, if you have the 2-door like Sunburst Ute, it would be like a modern Subaru Brat almost, because it is kind of a Subaru already.
Andy, what do you think of the smiley face Transit? You know, like the 3rd gen, whatever it was.
Absolute classic. I remember those when I was little.
I mean, yeah, it would be nice to own one, but unfortunately, I think there's around 12 left, because they've all rotted away.
Yeah, there's not many. I've not seen one in ages.
I actually saw one a week ago. I was in
Well, you do live in the country they were built in.
Yeah, that is fair. I'm trying to remember where I saw it. Yeah, I was in Colchester, and I saw a smiley face Transit with mismatched panels sitting on a driveway.
If it doesn't have mismatched panels, it hasn't been used properly. That's the true thing about those vans.
Yeah, it didn't look like it had moved in a while though.
Oh.
But anyway, now you can live out your white van man dreams, as we now have the Gavril NX,
Oh, very
complete
nice.
with the true to life patina and rust all around it. But yeah, this thing's a modification and a Eurofication of the Gavril H series. Quite a funky little car. I mean, van. But yeah, very good and a very nice little mod.
Only thing is, you can still see the body of the van is very American. It is literally just a different face. Oh, well, it probably has different engines as well, does it?
Oh, hold on, I don't think it actually does. Oh, it's a 2.6 litre. That's all he says. It's just a 2.6. I'm assuming 4-cylinder.
I would hope it's a 4-cylinder, because if it's still got the V8s in it. There was a mod I remember I did a review on my channel, and it was ETK. It was like a version of it was supposed to be the old version of the ETK 800 series. And I think it was one of the last mod reviews I ever did. I probably took the video down, but all he did was he put the old BMW front and rear end on the normal 800 series. So it wasn't really any different than the normal 800 series. I mean, it looked really good, but I don't know why I made a review about it, because it's literally just like a different front and rear bumper.
And finally, we have probably my favourite mod today. Do you like the Range Rover Classic by any chance?
I do like the Range Rover Classic. They're very cool.
I do too. I like it. But I never really considered how much I liked it until I saw this piece of machinery. It is absolutely beautiful.
Forgive me for saying, it looks like it looks like the Range Rover Classic was designed by the Soviet Union. I'm sorry. The headlights.
Yeah, that chassis looks absolutely beautiful. That is really well
Oh
modeled.
wow, that is bloody hell. That's really good. I don't even think vanilla vehicles are even done that in depth.
So, would you rather have that or the Procyon Avior, which is the Finn Wilkinson mod? So, Finn versus Theo here. Which one would you rather have?
This or the Toyota Celsior, basically. Oh, probably. Oh, probably the Avior. I'm gonna say. Now, to be fair, I've not driven. This. What does he call this Range Rover Classic? It's the
The Holloway
Holloway
Row,
Row.
I
Yeah.
think.
I don't know. I'm a bit torn because of a lot of JDM cars. The Toyota Celsior. I always call it the Celsior because I can never remember what number the original Lexus is. LS 400 or something like that. I don't remember, but it was. I like it, but it was less. I don't know. It's less sporty because of course, the ideal combo is your 1UZ and your automatic gearbox. Um, whereas the Range Rover. Well, when I think of this Range Rover, I think of the Top Gear special. What was it in Africa? I think it was where
Oh
Jeremy.
yeah. He drove a Range Rover Classic. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know if there's a config of that where he has the two squares in the bonnet, the two squares cut in it?
I'm assuming there will be. Yeah.
That would be really cool.
When the Novecento, the Fiat Cinquecento you mentioned last episode.
Yeah.
The guy who was making it, he wasn't British, so obviously he wasn't aware of the cultural influence of the Cinquecento in a British comedy show from the early 2000s. I think he's Polish. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but anyway, obviously he wasn't aware of it because obviously it's only massive in the UK
And kind of in Ireland.
and in Ireland, yeah, and in Ireland, yeah.
Shut up.
Oh yeah, he was getting lots of comments because obviously loads of British people saw the Cinquecento and they were like, "That's the in-betweeners car. They've got to add it. Surely he knows." But obviously he didn't know, so he was like, "What is with this yellow Cinquecento with a red door in it doing in my comment section? Why does everyone keep posting it?" I don't think he still gets it to this day because he's cancelled the mod, I think, or at least it's on hold.
Well, may I ask, is there anything on the Sapphire GT7 that you know about? Because I am very excited for this. Of course, made by the same girl that made the Gavro Vertex. I am sorry, I do not know the username.
Innocent Joker.
The Celine S7 is probably my favorite supercar of all time because it's just so crazy. With the quality that the Vertex had, I'd be very excited for a mod in similar quality of the S7. It's probably going to be like 10 J-Ro rocket configurations in it as well, and one that just explodes when you spawn it or some shit like that.
Alright. Updates on the mod. So they've got it in game, and right now it's at a very basic stage. It's just a few bits of chassis and a bit of bodywork, but that's about it really. But it's been confirmed these are all the parts that can come off it, so you can split it in three if you do wish.
Man, that's very in-depth. I like it. Well, there is one mod I'll add to our little discussion of monthly mods. It is the Skoda Superb, and I was watching Simulator Adventures video of this. Of course, I've not driven it yet. I've not been at my PC and since the last episode, so I've not really gotten to drive any new mods, but it looks so in-depth. I think you can kind of tell it's modeled by hand, but that's a good thing as well because you're not going to have like a crappy mesh slap from another game. It's got insane interactivity. You can turn on the radio and stuff like that, and it's not even just that it just like connects to your Spotify or something basic like that I said of course it does. It actually has music put into it, and you can put your own music into the files if you want. Pretty much all buttons inside are just fully interactable. You can move the seats around, just crazy stuff. But obviously, if you know the car itself as well, there's a lot of stuff that people who've owned Volkswagen products in real life will relate to, like the chime when you open the door, which is the little ding that's been in Volkswagens for the last like 25 years. It's in my car as well. The 1.9 TDI, of course, coming in clutch. It's available in this. A lot of the parts underneath there, Passat, of course. The one he used in the video was the PD100, just to get technical about our little 1.9 TDI. It even has the Lauren and Clement version, which is... Lauren and Clement were a Czech car maker from like 100 years ago. They used to make luxury cars, but Skoda bought them. Skoda, I should say, technically. That's how you're supposed to... My sister-in-law is Slovakian, so I better make sure I get that right. Skoda. That is... it's sort of just their luxury division. I've not actually witnessed one in real life, but you can get them with a VR6 and all-wheel drive, which is crazy business. That's cool. I didn't even know you could option a VR6 in a Skoda. I knew they were, like, all across... Like, you could fit one in, because it has the same, like, drivetrain and stuff as a Volkswagen, but still, I'd probably get a 1.8T.
I think Skoda is probably one of the best brands on the market at the minute.
They're probably my favorite, like, normal car brand. They have a big ad campaign. They have a big presence in Ireland. A lot of the ad campaign was the Skoda is literally made for Ireland, if you ever look at any of the ads. And we nearly bought a brand new Skoda Kodiaq right when they came out. The stuff you could option on it, like, there's just so much stuff that just makes sense. They have these little things on the windscreen, like a little piece of plastic that presses against the windscreen, and so when you get a parking ticket, you can just put it in behind that. Almost all of them, I think, they come with an ice scraper inside the fuel filler cap. You have the fold away tow bar, which I'm sure is probably a normal thing now, but like this would have been, I can't remember when the Kodiaq came out. It would have been, bloody hell, it would have been close to 10 years ago now.
2015, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was cool when I saw it first. So, but I am a big fan of Skoda. My brother's first car was a Skoda as well. He had a Fabia Monte Carlo edition. That thing looked so cool.
2000 Skoda on top.
Oh, a mate of mine just sold the original Fabia. He sold a VRS version of that. It was in metallic blue, the full kit on it and everything. I think it was remapped in the upper ends of 100 horsepower or something like that. It looked so fast. But I also heard now, I don't know if it was the same one, but I heard he crashed a Fabia VRS. I don't know if it was this one. So my little brief nerd off about Skoda. I should sorry if she's watching this. Skoda. I'll say it correctly. I make a point of it in real life that I say it correctly. So I'll make sure I hold that up in this podcast.
Alright, I've got one more thing before we move on. It's a IRL car question.
Right.
So you have one choice. You cannot sell this vehicle, nor can you buy the other ones if you choose one of them.
Right.
Volkswagen Bora TDI.
Okay.
Volkswagen Passat TDI. Or Volkswagen Phaeton TDI. And they're all from the 2000s, early 2000s.
Bora, straight up.
Really?
Bora TDI, love it. Looks the best.
But you could never own a Phaeton nor a Passat.
If I wanted to own a Phaeton, I'd want the V6 or the W12. The Passat, I like the Passat. I don't like it as much as I like the Bora. So to me, it was a pretty easy choice because the Phaeton, someone owns a Phaeton in my town, but it's the V6. And actually, no, the V6 is the TDI, isn't it? You can have that in a diesel.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I think...
Again, I'd still want the W12. If I wanted a Phaeton, I'd want the W12. I want to go the whole way. I want it to be...
100%.
I want it to be a Bentley, but I want people to think I drive a Passat. That's just what it is.
Yeah, they only made 85,000 of them in their entire lifetime.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, from 2006 to 2017, they only sold 85,000.
2006 to 2017? They stopped making them in 2017?
Yerp.
What? Still that original?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's
no,
way...
they facelifted it with the new Passat, I think.
Well, they facelifted it, but it's still based on, like, 2000s Volkswagen, like, platform.
Yeah. Hold on, let me have a look at this 2017 Phaeton.
Yeah, I gotta look this up. I see it.
Oh, never mind. It was a concept. 2017 was a concept, so I believe it was probably cancelled earlier.
Wait, look at that. It's just an A8. It's literally just an A8. Look at the side. It's literally just the exact same. Just with a different
back as
front.
well was just an A8.
It's what is this?
Also,
I see
the
it.
Space from the boot. The space.
That's
the space from the boot until the No, the space from the back of the window, like from the aerial to the boot, is massive. It's like really weirdly proportioned.
Yeah. But literally, from the rear bumper all the way up to the headlights, it's just the A8. I am not kidding. Look, I'll put it on the screen. I'll just put it on the screen. It is literally just the same car.
Next topic that you wanted to talk about.
Ah, yes, the community insight. Andy's community insight, if you will. So this will be between various things, usually stuff off of Instagram or... one thing I love including, Simulator Adventures does little quizzes on his community tab. I will share a couple of them with you here. But what I want to talk about first is, of course, the update rumors, or teasers, I should say.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Literally one just dropped like right before we did this. In fact, I'm almost wondering, will the update just be out by the time this episode airs? But anyway, they had the fan one, showed a dashboard of the MD series, but you could clearly see there was no bonnet. Now, if you ask me, I'm of the mind that it's a bus, because if you look at the height of the wall outside of the window relative to where the picture is taken, I think that could be a bus dashboard. It'd be very cool to see the Wentworth get a little bit more done to it. That would mean 3 remasters, because the other 2 teasers pretty much confirmed the other 2 remasters. The Miramar, dude, I have been begging for that mod to be updated for so long. I love the Miramar, but it feels so weird to drive because it's running on the old tire model, and it's running on the old BeamNG level of detail. And not that the new tire model is any different, but it's just more, the tires are more detailed now.
Yeah.
And there's a left-hand drive one, which is what they put in the teaser. And then the one that just came today is the Burnside Special, which is very cool. And basically, they literally just straight up showed like the whole car. It was the same for the Miramar as well, even though the Miramar looks a lot the same. But the Burnside is getting a 2-door version, and the one they show in the image is all like, it's like a rat rod version that's crashed or something like that. I think that's cool. I think the Burnside could do with the update. I hope they add a stock car. And I hope with the Miramar as well they add some, like, of course they'll keep the racing one that's already in there. I think that's a reference to a more a real life car, but it's fun. And it's funny as well because the Miramar, even though it's Japanese, and it's probably a lot of it, the external side of it is probably inspired by like old Toyotas and stuff like that. The car very much itself kind of embodies like the old Fiat 131. That was the car my dad learned to drive in, actually, a Fiat 131 Mirafiori. Most people would only know the 131 through the Abarth 131, the rally car with the crazy wide body. Actually, that would be a great opportunity for BeamNG to put that car into the game using the Miramar. That would be actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of all. What do you think? What do you make of these teasers? What are you extracting from these images?
Alright, let me do a little deep dive here. First off, I'm gonna disagree with you. That is definitely not a Wentworth. That is definitely an MD series in the first photo.
Oh no, I don't disagree. It's definitely a Gavril, but I'm definitely thinking it's a bus, and they're definitely Gavril parts.
MD bus. I think it's MD bus. I'm gonna say.
What I was thinking, which is why I thought it might be a Wentworth, is the idea of having parts sharing. It might be a potential. Someone brought that up. Now, I don't really think parts sharing is really going to be a thing, but I definitely think it's bus height. I don't think it's a cab over. Either that or it's just a really low cab over, because those do exist in Europe. But then again, the MD series, the entire concept of what the MD series is pretty much just exclusive to America.
And the Miramar teaser, it looks like they haven't actually updated the textures yet. It looks like all they've done is just flipped the interior to left-hand drive so far. Yeah, not much to go off from there.
They generally kind of keep their cards close to their chest when they're posting stuff that reveals that much of the car.
I remember when they just used to like show off the whole car in teasers. And for the final one, there's nothing really to interpret, to be honest. It's just what it is. It's just a Sunburst remaster.
I didn't really pay attention to the interior of the car that the POV is sort of shown from. So there's probably loads of stuff in the interior that I missed.
Oh no, it looks exactly the same actually.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean there's not much going on in a Burnside interior anyway. The other part of my little community insight here, because I didn't really see a whole lot else on Instagram, is Simulator Adventures little quizzes, right? Which vehicle in BeamNG weighs the least?
Oh, like in general, or
In
is there like
general.
a selection of cars?
Well, there's the obvious
Wait.
selection, which is the Widgeon, the Pigeon, and the FPU Hydra. But which of those is the lightest?
Hydra. I'm gonna have to go Hydra because it's basically it's either made of plastic or fiberglass, and it's got really small wheels, and it's got literally no features whatsoever.
That is also the answer I picked, but you'll be surprised to find that the Widgeon is actually lighter. The Pigeon weighs 625 kilos, the Hydra
Yeah.
weighs 590, and the Widgeon weighs 530. Now, I'd be inclined to think the real life equivalent to these that would be slightly different. I've seen a Reliant Bond bug. In fact, I've seen 9 all in one spot. But I have actually worked on the vehicle that the Hydra is based off of. The owner of the company I work for owns that same thing, and they're made of plastic. They have really tiny, like almost like lawnmower engines, like a little tiny motorcycle engine, and then it's just your two drive half shafts or whatever you want to call them coming out either side, and it just drives a chain, and the chain is connected to all of the wheels on each side, and then you just have skid steer. So really, there's not a lot to them. I mean, realistically, 2 or 3 dudes could pick it up.
I think realistically the Hydra would be lighter because the Widgeon I'd assume is made out of fiberglass
Yes.
with like a steel frame
Mm-hmm.
and a 3-cylinder engine. That's like 600 cc's.
Yeah.
So, yeah, about the 700 kilogram mark is what I'd put it really.
I wouldn't put it at 700 kilograms because don't forget the K11 Micra weighs 700 kg. Actually weighs
Really?
690 kg. Yeah, I had to look this up because in Ireland, I don't have a trailer license, right? And in Ireland, you don't need a trailer license if you're towing something with one axle and it weighs less than 750 kilos. And because I was considering making a race car out of a K11, I figured, well, I may as well try and find something that I could get on a trailer without needing the license, because it's just a headache getting any kind of driver's license in Ireland. Here's another, and I don't have a selection of vehicles for this. Which vehicle has the most configs? Which vanilla vehicle?
Gavril D series.
Yes, it has 73 configs. There's probably a bit of an obvious one for anyone that's been playing a while because, I mean, that car is the first one. But
Yeah.
and it would probably have been a lot more if they kept the Roamer as a. If anyone, you probably remember this, the Roamer used to be selected under D series. It was just a different version of it with a different front end and rear end.
Yeah.
It wasn't a separate vehicle. And which out of the 3 ETKs in the game does not have a police car config?
Which the I series, easy.
Boom. There you go. Honestly, they should have like an old school German police car I series. That would be pretty
Yeah.
cool. Time for the OTL Reddit read up. What did you find?
Let me just have a little look see here. Something very interesting. Reddit user CarBeast SM has actually set up a indicator stalk to their BeamNG setup. It's quite impressive. It actually works, fully functional and all that.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
I would want to do this, but I have no idea how wiring works. So
Well, I do, and I was just about to mention that because I would consider doing so, because I've as part of my college for being a mechanic, I have to know how to wire an indicator up just for like a normal car.
there's a new. Do you remember the mattress meme from 2020, right?
Oh yeah, dude.
There's a new BeamNG meme coming around. It's called trailer racing. What you do is you get the little BeamNG person. You get the wooden trailer with no sides and just like a mesh back.
Yeah.
You get on the back of that and it lifts the trailer backwards so it moves forward. And then you race it downhill with all your mates. And it's apparently a very fun time.
We gotta try that, bro. That sounds
We do have to
crazy.
try that. People have done it on the Nordschleifer. It's insane.
Not a whole lot
Yeah, it's a
going.
bit dry on the subreddit.
That's fair enough. It does have dry spells like that. Mainly because I'm not posting anymore. What? Nothing. Okay. We may as well move on to the YouTube corner. So I very much enjoy watching a lot of small YouTubers. And in fact, speaking of YouTubers watching small YouTubers, Filmin86 commented on my most recent video. Yes, What a legend. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know if he watches
small
this.
YouTuber. Yeah,
Yeah, I
he
don't know if
deserves more attention, really.
Yeah, he does deserve more attention. I was more making a point of how he's a big YouTuber watching me, the small YouTuber, but the algorithm is still shafting my channel, so please do watch. Well, if you're watching this podcast, you're probably already coming from either my channel or Will's channel, but do watch the most recent video as of the time of recording this, which is me and Will came up with a little challenge of driving across the map while one of us has our screen turned off and the other one has to give directions. And, well, let's just say shit goes wrong for me. Let's just say it goes wrong for
Yeah,
me pretty quickly. But we will, now, by the time this goes up, it might have already been recorded, but we are going to do that, but with racing. Leo really wants to do that, so that's what we'll do, I suppose. Other small YouTuber news. I have found this channel, 4N. I absolutely love it. Literally just number 4 with a capital N right after it. The video I found was every BeamNG map ranked. I very much enjoyed the video. I will share some opinions on his rankings for some of the maps. He did make a point that I've always agreed with. Everyone was so hyped about Grid Map V2. I prefer Grid Map V1 because he described it. Everything on Grid Map V2 is just an incoherent mess, and I wholeheartedly agree. It's got so much great stuff, but I wish they kept the original, because even though the original didn't have that much on it, everything, it was like exactly what it needed to be. Everything wasn't too far away, it wasn't too big, you know. Stuff that you want to do is literally just like a few hundred meters away from you. It was always the default map I used whenever I played BeamNG. I didn't go to West Coast USA. I didn't do anything. I would just launch grid map, vanilla cars, and I was of just simple fun like that. That's the way I've been playing it since the tech demo. But I can't really do that anymore, and I usually don't have mods installed, so obviously I don't have the retro or retroactively reinstalled version of the map. He did also talk about Glow City. I'm surprised he even included that. Most people don't really know about it with the Light Runner mode. And he did mention that he thinks the only way you can access the map is through mods, but you can enable the debug, show debug options or something when you're looking at maps, and it'll show up. But I don't know if it shows up with any track or if it's just the background, because of course you actually fall to the ground in Glow City. The textures are very low quality. He was talking about how Hirochi and East Coast USA should be linked. I think that's a great idea. They are both set in Maine in America. They have a similar kind of what would you call it? They're a similar biome. The trees everywhere. And there's already the tunnel on the map, so you could easily just make a tunnel somewhere on East Coast USA and try and join the two. I think that'd be a great idea. It'd really make East Coast USA more usable as a career map as well, and just as a multiplayer map, I suppose. He was talking about the Derby map, and he was kind of suggesting how the Derby map was kind of only created in mind for multiplayer, but to be fair, it isn't, even though it is really good in multiplayer. It's also a tiny, but it's mainly created to accommodate for the derby scenarios, which all require multiple players. But they were in the old industrial map, because of course the industrial map used to be industrial and the derby arenas together, and they separated them. But to keep the scenarios, they just put all of the stuff on the new version of the map. He talked about Jungle Rock Island. He really likes Jungle Rock Island. Now, I like it, but I get bored of it a bit quickly. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love the map. For me, it's very confined is the only thing for me. But dude, it is a lot of fun. I will admit that. There's something people don't discuss a lot about it. There is a lot of lore and hidden meaning hidden behind that island, because a lot of people thought it was Japanese. But of course, when they updated the number plates to actually show what state you're in or what location you're in, of course everyone could see that it's in Hawaii. But there's something about it that's supposed to imply the Japanese and the Americans were allied in World War II. There's a lot of stuff about that in BeamNG's lore. There's stuff about World War II not happening as well, and it explains why there's such an alliance between Gavril and Abishu. Because if you look at that map, this was the biggest thing, right? The map is Hawaiian. It's
Yeah.
very clearly ex-military. It was built, if you look around, everything is shown, it's all military stuff. But in the
Mm.
hangar is a Japanese airplane. I think it's a Mitsubishi, I could be wrong about that. And why would an Axis plane be in an Allied airbase in a hangar like that? It just wouldn't be. I know there's stuff of like planes being stolen and stuff like that by the Allies or by the Axis, but like it seems to imply that Japan wasn't an Axis force during whatever war could have been in this universe. Also, the fact that the island is so disused is evidence of nothing ever having been used, which is to say the war never happened. There was no Pearl Harbor and all that stuff. So, dude, I looked into so much stuff. There's a lot of small things as well, but like BeamNG didn't need lore, but it has good lore. It's like it's almost
Yeah.
sort of saying that like these cars are set in the same world that we are in now, but it's just the brands are all different because the world took a different turn of events. Is sort of what it's implying, and I think
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. He also rated Small Island USA a little bit low. He rated it a C. Now I know most people probably find it boring. I really like it. I just think whenever I make a custom config, it's always on Small Island because
Yeah.
the roads are
That loop
bumpy.
road is really good.
The loop road is very good, yeah. Very easy to
Yeah.
completely mess it up as well. It's the right amount of bumpy if you're trying to set your suspension in a car and you want it to be usable in a lot of areas. All of my YouTube like main configs or whatever were made there, except for the current Pessima, and it shows because that Pessima that you see at the start of all my videos drives so awful. It's rubbish. I'm gonna remake it, but I'll keep the exterior the same, so I don't have to change all of the intro and everything. But yeah, I like Small Island USA. I like the rally roads. I just think it's a nice little map. So, but anyway, 4N is the YouTuber. Go watch him. Every BMG ranked map, BMG ranked map, BMG map ranked. Say that 3 times fast. Um, very enjoyable video. Another YouTuber. This is a really really small YouTuber. I think he has less than like 300 subs now. He only does clips. It just popped up for me. Has 63 views, but the channel is called um Mr. Isaac or something like that. Mrisek. I don't know. He just posted a drifting video with an R33. It's not much, but I figured he's a small YouTuber. Better give him a little shout out. He's got Tokyo Extreme Racer on there. He's got a few BeamNG clips. He's clearly the sort that like he uploads enough that he actually sort of cares about how his channel does. So I figured may as well give him a little shout out. Although if the last podcast is meant to go by, his video will probably get more view than this episode, but hopefully that'll change in time. Last YouTube mention I will give is to Hognose Gaming, our friend Hognose. He did a video on his Thunderbird. He's got a 93 Thunderbird.
Yeah.
The harmonic balancer basically discombobulated inside the car while his dad was driving it. It's got the V8. It's a special trim or something. I can't. Isn't it supercharged or something like that? Something crazy. I mean, crazy first car stuff. But like average first car in America. You know what can I say? He was
Yeah.
looking for like help mechanically, and I'll probably talk to him myself because I am a mechanic. I'd love to actually just go to him and like actually help him in person, but of course
Oh yeah.
besides
Yeah.
the fact that I don't know anything about American cars or American domestic market, car parts products or anything like that, he is kind of literally on the other side of the world to me. But
Yeah. In America, you can just like go up to a junkyard and like pick off parts and then buy them. So
yeah,
it's quite easy to be fair.
dude, oh mate, my headlamp is cracked on my set Ibiza. Some guy with no insurance crashed into me, right? And but I need to fix this in order for it to pass the NCT, and I'm just finding parts is such a headache. I mean, you'll find a listing on Dundeal or Facebook Marketplace or whatever, car for braking, or you'll go onto whatever part finding website. You see a picture of the car, and it's got all the bits on it, and then you ring up and say, "Oh, can I see this and this car? Does it still have this on it?" 9 times out of 10, it doesn't have anything left on it. I wanted to get all F4 parts for my car. I found a really nice one. I wanted to get the seats, I wanted to get the screen, I wanted to get the headlights, I wanted to get the bumper, I wanted to get everything. literally the whole thing was stripped by the time I made the phone call. And then the thing is, you'll ring them and you're like, oh, I seen this one car. Can I ask about what parts are? They'll just say no, ask for your reg number and just look through their entire list of parts. Instead of just like having a place you can walk in, look around their stuff, ask how much is that, give a price, and say alright, and then take it home. And another, oh dude, mate, this is the headlights, right, from my car. Because of course with the Seat, the Seat's only sold in Europe, much like Skoda, but unlike Skoda, which are insanely popular in Ireland, and I imagine they're the same in the UK, the Seat is always a little bit in the shadow, and it means that the right-hand drive market is quite small, and it results in the headlights for the right-hand drive cars being twice the price as the headlights for the left-hand drive cars. I did not realise this when I got this new front bumper, right, an F-forward front bumper yesterday. I went to the guy and I was mentioning to him. He says, "Oh no, be careful. The reason it's cheap is because it's for the left-hand drives." I was like, "Oh, that's a good point. Lucky I didn't order it yet, so that's something I gotta watch out for." And now I gotta ring around a load of places and try and find car parts. I hate it, bro. I just being neurodivergent. I hate making phone calls. Just like give me a button I can press, and I'll give the money, and the thing can come to me. But
Literally.
yeah, literally, man, I hate it. But other bits he said was wrong with his Thunderbird. He showed the block, the inside of the engine block. You could kind of see the coolant and oil galleries were all kind of rusty. He said it'd been sat in storage for like 10 years or something. There was mice everywhere, mice living in the center console, all that stuff. Just wonderful stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah, really bad. Mice had gotten into the engine and everything. Oh man, imagine you open out the sump and there's just like mouse carcasses in the. Oh mate, I've seen stuff like that in my workshop. There's mice end up getting into the little gullies at the end of the pit where all the cleaning stuff goes, and sometimes when we have to clean it out, and you just see little small like, oh, it stinks. Anyway,
Yeah.
he said there's an electrical issue according to his dad, who's a mechanic. Accessories not turning on is all he said. I would assume that's the accessory position on the key is not getting power, which would mean you wouldn't be able to start it. I would suspect that's from the mice probably biting through some wires. That block being rusted inside, you'd probably have to strip that and just get a wire brush at it. But once you've done that, I suppose it's not the worst. He did say it didn't need timing, but now, I think it's a timing chain on this, which is interesting. If it was a timing belt, you'd definitely need a new belt, because for being sat that long, the belt would deteriorate like crazy. But it looks like a chain, which I don't know if this is the standard in America for like V8s and stuff, but in Europe, the chains are generally reserved for diesels, chains and gears, which I would much prefer if everything was timing gears, because you literally don't need to do anything with them. But no, Ford comes along and says, let's make a belt and let's make it go through the oil, and let's make it so that if you use the wrong oil, the belt deteriorates and it gets all caught in the oil pickup, and then the engine dies, and then you need a whole engine rebuild. I'll never own a car with a wet belt. It's such a bad idea. They're easy to work on, but you'll work on them a lot. That's the only thing. And the other thing about his car as well, I noticed in one of the pictures, it has that 90s auto seatbelt thing. The seatbelt that's like on the door, and you get in, and it goes, and it goes into position, and then you just have a lap belt. I don't know, I don't think they were ever a thing in Europe. Certainly not in Ireland, anyway. Well, that wraps up the YouTube corner, I suppose, and we've gone through everything there. Will, have you anything you'd like to cover before we round off this episode?
No, I do not. No.
No announcements on your channel or anything?
No.
But
I'll have a look.
Can I just mention that D series durability test or whatever it was? I really enjoyed that. It's probably one of your better videos in the last while. That was really good.
Yeah.
And it definitely, the algorithm
I'm glad it blew up as well.
Yeah, the algorithm certainly shows it. It's a good video to have blow up. Dude, what's it at now?
22,000 views in 2 days.
2 days.
That's like 10k subscribers level.
Well, that driving blindfolded has been up for 23 hours and 4 minutes, and it's got 55 views. So there you go.
I just don't know, why is it shafting you so much?
I don't know, but my average view duration is up, so there you go. I do feel the first
Mm.
half of the video wasn't as interesting as the second half, so I did kind of miss out there. But I am going to make a bunch of shorts and reels out of it, so hopefully that helps with
Yeah.
getting the name out there.
But
So
yeah, I saw the impressions and it was like 287,000.
what?
Yeah.
Mate. So on a slightly on a higher note than we ended the podcast last time, we'll wrap up. Be sure to share this podcast around because we do kind of need it. We are in the early stages of it. We'll obviously post it on our own channels as well. Keep in the loop for any shorts I might make, or shorter excerpts from the episode that I might put on other platforms as well. This will also be on Spotify, so do check that out. Make sure you follow the Spotify page. I did forget to upload the first episode to Spotify as of the time of recording this, so make sure I do that right after I'm done. But besides that, I think that is all, and I'll see you out on the track.
Bye.